All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week again. Time for more One Piece as we read through the entire series. So, let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome to yet another live reading of One Piece. We are going to be going through Volume 8 of the series, titled I Won't Die. Now, just to give you a bit of a recap as to what happened in the last reading, we saw the Creek Pirates try and attack the Baratier, try and take it for themselves. We also saw the introduction of commanders, both Pearl, and then we also saw Commander Gin as well, as they start fighting, including Gin, who starts fighting Sanji, but can't bring himself to actually kill Sanji, simply because Sanji was pretty much the nicest person to him that he's ever known, and as well as, saving his life with some food. Don Krieg ain't having none of it, and basically just disowns Gin from his entire crew, simply because Gin won't kill Sanji. And then he proceeds to fight with Luffy constantly trying to rush Don Krieg, but he gets, pushed backwards to a different spot. Chapter 63? I believe so. Yeah, chapter 63. Hold on, let me move this over here. There we go. But it gets to a point where Krieg starts showing off his military might, such as his advanced weapons, such as bombs that have shurikens in them, bombs that shoot out, his shield that shoots out stakes, and one of them gets lodged in Luffy's leg, but Luffy is still ready to fight him. And we see the history of Sanji also when he was a child. Well, when he was younger, and he was on a ship called the Orbit. And that's when he ran into Zeph, because Zeph tried to raid that ship. And in the process, both Sanji and Zeph get swept up in a monsoon because a storm was bearing down on the ship. They get marooned on this this plateau that it makes it impossible for them to climb back up if they fall. And for about 70 days, they're stuck there, where Sanji is able to get himself some food. He still barely manages to hang on, while Zeph, unbeknownst to Sanji at the time, cut off his own leg and ate it so that he could survive, pretty much giving Sanji all of the food that they had. So that's the reason why Sanji is fighting so hard for this restaurant, because he literally owes owner Zeph his life. So things come to a head because Don Krieg shoots off an MH5 bomb that engulfs the entire area. And due to his debt to Sanji, Gin allows himself to breathe in this life-threatening poison, while also forcing Sanji to have a rebreather on so that he can survive it. And Luffy survives as well. So now we get to the point where Don Krieg is, kind of fine, pretty much fine with Gin dying to his mask because he betrayed him. But we'll see how things go. And if my description was too long, don't worry. The reminder from this volume will put it in much better and shorter words than I. So, Volume 8, I Won't Die. The Story of One Piece, Volume 8. Monkey D. Luffy started out as just a kid with a dream, and that dream was to become the greatest pirate in history. Got it this time. Stirred by the tales of pirate red-haired Shanks, Luffy vowed to become a pirate himself. That was before the enchanted devil fruit gave Luffy the power to stretch like rubber, at the cost of being unable to swim, a serious handicap for an aspiring sea dog. Undeterred, Luffy set out to sea and recruited some crewmates, lying sharpshooter Usopp, master swordsman Zoro, and treasure-hunting thief Nami. Luffy and his crew visit the ocean-going restaurant Baratier. Hey, I got that on the first try as well. Where they meet and befriend Sanji, the sous chef. But the powerful and ruthless Don Krieg arrives with his pirates and declares that he wants Baratier for himself. So begins a battle royale for the restaurant ship. Sanji vows to defend the ship with his life, but when Chef Zeph is taken hostage, the situation turns desperate. Everyone wonders why Sanji is so determined to defend the ship, until he reveals a secret from the past. when Sanji was a young apprentice cook. He and Chef, then known as Red Shoes Zeph the pirate, were swept overboard by a sudden storm and cast upon a rock in the ocean. Because Sanji shares Zeph's dream, the pirate gave the boy all the food he had and ate his own leg to survive. And that's pretty much the synopsis of where we are right now. Volume 8, I Won't Die, Chapter 63 through 71. Let's go! Chapter 63, I Won't Die. And then we cut to Buggy and the crew. Well, not Buggy and the crew, but Richie and his crew. The last adventure of Richie's pirate crew. The fall of Richie's pirates. Literally the same day that Richie becomes the new captain for the then Buggy pirates, they get done in and completely bodied by the Kumite tribe. So, yeah, he was only captain for one day. And then it cuts to Don Krieg, who's laughing at Gin's current state as he's being poisoned.
You feel sorry for that worthless piece of rubbish.
And, I mean, in the last volume, Luffy was screaming at Krieg because of what he did to Gin.
Piece of rubbish? A fool who lost sight of what was important and refused to obey my orders is of no use to me. Who's to say he won't betray me again? Killing him like this is a kindness.
And he says that killing Gin by poisoning, where Gin is struggling to breathe, veins is popping up all over his body, his skin is changing different colors, and he's coughing up blood, that's a kindness in Krieg's eyes. Does the Don really want to kill? Does the Don really want to kill? Look, they're alive! Sanji!
Whoa, the demon guy breathed a poison gas!
Patty, don't we have any antidote on board? Oh yeah, but it's for food poisoning. And anyway, he's an enemy.
I don't care what kind it is, just get it.
Then it cuts to Zeph.
Idiot, slap a gas mask on him right away. There should be at least a little antitoxin left. Carry him to the upper deck and make him take deep breaths. That's the only chance you have of saving him.
Patty, Carne, hurry! Yeah, we're coming, don't yell.
Me too.
Don't die, Gin, says Luffy.
Waste of time. He won't live another hour.
And then Luffy's still standing there while Patty and Carne bring over the mask. Come on, Gin. Don't let that jerk kill you. Live despite him, okay? I'll send them flying for you. And then it cuts to Gin, who's struggling to speak through the mask, as he's still coughing up blood, and the blood is going through the filter of the mask while it's on him.
Don't go against Krieg. You can't win.
And then it cuts to Sanji.
Calm down, chore boy. If you charge in, you'll be playing right into his hands. You'll be killed.
And then the wind just howls. And then Luffy rustles off of Sanji and says, I won't die. If you want to shoot me, then go ahead. Wait!
The fool. There's no enemy so easy to kill as an enraged one.
Fine. Have it your way, goes Sanji. And then Luffy keeps running towards him, while Krieg continues.
I've heard that even a monkey can learn, but you persist in your mistakes. A monkey is a genius next to you, anchor boy.
And then Luffy goes, I don't give up so easily.
The ocean is your nemesis. If you fly at me, you'll make a lovely target for my stakes. Beyond that fin, your grave awaits.
My grave? More bombs! As Krieg throws out more bombs in the path of Luffy. More bombs! They're blinding! And then the whole area explodes, and Don Krieg takes aim and starts firing more stakes at Luffy. I'm just wondering this, though. This dude is firing so many stakes. Where's the band? I see the bandolier, but how long is it for him to constantly fire at Luffy for long periods of time? I'm just wondering. But he fires at Luffy, and it just shows all these stakes going through the wall of water from the explosion. He's hit, as it shows Luffy get hit multiple places, but he shows Luffy get hit multiple places, and Don Krieg laughs.
He'll die rather than retreat.
Because it shows Luffy going through this wall of water, taking the stakes out of him, and he has not lost any momentum. And it shows Krieg, who's kind of surprised by this, going,
"This boy."
As it shows Luffy flipping over, shooting his leg high into the air, and then hitting the water, causing another wall of water to pop up.
An eye for an eye, eh?
And it cuts to Luffy, who's bringing his fist all the way backward as he's preparing to punch Krieg.
He's determined to strike me no matter what the cost.
As it shows Krieg putting like a big old cloak over him, but it has some spikes on it.
Then try punching my porcupine cape, boy.
Then it cuts to Egg, and it shows Luffy directly in front of Don Krieg, who basically has his big giant cloak over him that's just covered in spikes, as if to say, like,
you won't punch me if you don't want to get poked by all these spikes.
But Sanji goes,
that dirty dog, his cape's covered with spikes?
His bare fist! Don't touch
it! I'm invulnerable.
Come. Bullet! And Luffy, ignoring the spikes, punches the spikes with enough force to hit Krieg with enough force. Let me rephrase that sentence because that didn't sound good. Luffy ignores the danger of this cape and punches the cape and Krieg's face with it, hitting Krieg so hard that blood shoots out of his face. He ignored the spikes. He punched the spikes, bypassing his own hand's safety just to punch Krieg. Now, I remember seeing this way back when, and I was just thinking, ain't no way. If I'm trying to punch somebody, I'm going to ignore the sharp spikes and then punch those spikes in order to hit the person underneath. You gotta have some very high willpower and pain tolerance to punch a cape with spikes on it just to hit the person underneath. But he winds up hitting Krieg extremely hard and sends him flying a little bit, even knocking a tooth out of his mouth. And all the Krieg pirates are looking shocked at the fact that Luffy punched Krieg through the cape. And it shows Luffy's incredibly bloodied fist because, he just impaled his own hand on this cape just to punch him. But it shows Krieg falling, eyes whited out, falling to the ground.
What kind of person?
And then the chefs are just feeling the same way that I did seeing this.
He punched you right through the porcupine! Ow!
And it shows you ever see someone get hurt so bad that you think it's happened to you and you're shaking that same body part that someone else got hurt with because you feel it's just you just imagining it makes you feel like you got hurt? Yeah, the chef saw that and was all like, ain't no way Luffy could be a chef if he's letting that stuff happen to his hands. Don Krieg's been knocked out!
I don't get it. What is that kid?
Until this moment, I've never seen the Don go down, not even on one knee. He blasted him right in the face, right through the porcupine.
And then Luffy's hand is just steadily bleeding because of what he just did. So whose grave is this again? Mine or yours? And Luffy is saying this while he's taking another, mind you, he took a spike out of his midsection, but he still had one in his shoulder. So not only was that in his shoulder, but he also continued to fight Krieg despite this big old stake sticking in his body. Now he takes it out. So whose grave is this? So whose grave is this again? Mine or yours? And then Krieg starts to wake up a little. See? Don't count me out just because you have sneaky weapons and a spiked cape. This isn't my place to die. And he says this as he holds up the stake that was in his shoulder, while it also shows his hand with numerous holes in it from the spikes he punched. Seeing this for the very first time, I'm just thinking, ain't no way. Ain't no way. He just ignored it completely. Good lord. Then it cuts to Sanji.
That kid is crazy. Watch him closely, Sanji.
Cuts to Zeph, who's there with a crutch now. Hey, demon guy!
Steady now.
Deep breaths, breathe the fresh air. Some water? How about me special pudding?
Idiot, he's already been poisoned once today.
Poisoned? Why you?
My meat dishes are unsurpassed.
And then it cuts to Geen, who's still, having difficulty breathing. Hey!
Don't die, demon guy.
Then it cuts to Zeph again.
Once in a long while, a fool comes along who, having set his sights on something, won't quit fighting till he dies.
Won't quit fighting.
It's a real nuisance to have a feller like that for an enemy. Whether he wins or loses this fight, I admire a man like that.
Then it cuts to the Krieg pirates. How could we lose?
It's a fluke. Just a fluke. Don't worry about it.
Jawboy, you're the greatest. And then it cuts to Sanji as he looks on as Krieg starts to get up.
If this isn't your place to die, then tell me, whose place to die is it?
As Krieg punches Luffy with his shield, and he smirks.
It's yours after all!
As it cuts to Krieg trying to shoot Luffy point blank, but Luffy flips over him, and Luffy screams, "No, it's still yours!" And he lands another hit directly on Krieg, causing Krieg to even drop his shield now. And that's the end of chapter 63. Onwards to chapter 64, The Mighty Battle Spear. And it shows Krieg getting pulled backwards and slammed by Luffy as he falls to his back. Again. And Luffy lands a short distance away from him.
Dawn!
The Dawn's down again!
What's going on?
Enemies are supposed to die without being able to touch Don Krieg.
He's supposed to be invincible. How could this shrimp beat him?
And then Sanji and Zeph just continue to watch on. And then it cuts to Patty. That gets something. That gets something. And Geen doesn't say anything. Then it cuts to the other pirates.
Has Don Krieg finally met his match? His reputation is shattered.
And then it cuts to Don Krieg, who's getting upset that people are actually doubting him. And he screams,
"Stop that foolish yammering!"
as he takes two of his shields and then combines them together. And the force of him closing his shield apparently breaks the platform that he and Luffy are standing on.
Ah! It's the mighty battle spear!
As it shows that Don Krieg combined his shields to apparently turn them into like a massive spear-type weapon.
That's it. Don Krieg's deadliest weapon.
Let's see how long you can survive now, Anchor Boy.
As Don Krieg now takes off his cape.
You'll find this a bit more injurious than those steaks.
Injurious. I've never seen that word before. That's interesting.
You'll find this a bit more injurious than those steaks.
What kind of spear is that? What kind of spear is that?
It'll blow you to smithereens!
As it shows Krieg preparing to hit Luffy.
Ha!
And he smashes where Luffy is, and the spear explodes, causing Luffy to fly in the opposite direction.
Ah!
What the heck? It exploded!
Ah, I'm falling! I'm falling!
And, of course, Luffy uses his powers to retract himself back to solid ground. What kind of weapon is that? Is it gonna keep blowing me up? Huh? And then it cuts to Luffy, who's standing there in front of Krieg. And Luffy realizes that he can't stand anymore. And he's kind of confused as to why he can't stand. And then Sanji, a long battle is bad. He's lost too much blood.
The strain is taking its toll on you.
Darn, I can't use my full strength on these little chunks of flotsam. I can't use my full strength on these little chunks of flotsam. I think that's Don Creek saying that.
The strain is taking its toll on you. Darn, I can't use my full strength on these little chunks of flotsam.
Not trying to make anyone hungry, but you're having Wendy's for lunch? Ooh, nice. I'm upset that they don't have the bourbon bacon cheeseburger anymore. It's so upsetting. I got a Baconator, but it's not the same. It's not the same. They got a ghost pepper chicken sandwich now, but I don't want that. I want my bourbon bacon cheeseburger. Makes me upset. First, Arby's doesn't have their bourbon bacon and turkey club, and now Wendy's doesn't have their bourbon bacon cheeseburger. Upsetting!
Darn, I can't use my full strength on these little chunks of flotsam.
Don Krieg's not finished after all. With the mighty battle spear, the more power you put into the thrust, the bigger the bang.
And then it cuts to Don Krieg, who tries to just impale Luffy, but Luffy dodges out of the way.
What awesome strength! He's waving that heavy spear around like a chopstick.
You're flying through these volumes pretty fast. I told you so. Oh yeah, Ozzy. Oh yeah. We're making some good time because I've learned to pace myself so that way I don't mess up words, so that way I don't, stay too long on a chapter. But it's good to see you, Ozzy, as always. Thank you for your continued support of this channel by being a member. Thank you so much. Also, thank you everyone for everything you do for me for this channel. I am so grateful for you guys allowing me to do what I do. Thank you. Thank you. If I don't say it, and I'm probably going to say it a lot more this year, especially with the rest of the things happening this year, yeah, y'all are probably going to hear me thank you a whole lot more, but just thank you. You're in the mood for some Whataburger? I've never had Whataburger before. I've never had Whataburger before. But back to the story. Don Krieg tries to stab Luffy.
What awesome strength! He's waving that heavy spear around like a chopstick. It's gotta weigh at least a ton with those metal shoulder pads. With those metal shoulder plates.
That's the strength that made Don Krieg a legend.
And it cuts to Don Krieg still trying to hit Luffy, but Luffy keeps dodging. And it cuts to Luffy as he's jumping backwards, and he's almost near the ocean. Yikes! And then Luffy is just still on the defensive, dodging away from Don Krieg, until he realizes,
die!
And then it cuts to Luffy as he's airborne, and Don Krieg sweeps in the direction of where Luffy is, but Luffy isn't there, because Luffy has latched on to Don Krieg's spear, just going, whew, that was close. And then Don Krieg, mad and upset that Luffy isn't dead yet, gets angry and then hoists his spear in the air. Huh?
Why you caterpillar!
And then Luffy lets go of the spear before the spear hits the ground. And while Luffy is upside down and airborne, Don Krieg takes this moment to try and stab Luffy, but Luffy takes his fists, like literally his fists, and puts them together on the blade to keep the blade from, piercing him. And Don Krieg smiles as he causes that section of his spear to explode. And Sanji, chore boy! And Luffy falls backwards. Well, Luffy falls backwards, but apparently still conscious because Don Krieg goes,
still alive? Now you've made me angry. I'll blast you into chum!
And then it cuts to Luffy, who gets up just to say, uh-oh, as Don Krieg unleashes another blast point blank on Luffy, causing Luffy to fall backwards again.
Now do you see? My power is unrivaled.
And then the Krieg pirates are kind of smelling themselves right now because they think Don Krieg is winning. And Sanji and Zeph just look on with Sanji going, chore boy! And the fighting cooks are going, curses, the boy wasn't a match for Krieg after all. And then Luffy's foot is in the air, and he slams it onto the ground as he stands right back up again. And as Luffy stomps, Krieg notices that the tip of his spear, which was like a really big blade, it cracks and falls off completely.
What? My mighty battle spear? You maggot, what have you done?
I landed 5 punches. Brace yourself. Now there's room enough to send you flying. Because apparently Luffy has been luring Krieg to a section where he and Krieg can duke it out on a much wider platform. You're missing out. It's mainly in Texas and Oklahoma. I remember living in those states. Some interesting duty stations when my dad was in the army. Now there's room enough to send you flying.
What?
And that is the end of chapter 64. We got a little bit of an SBS, and then we can move on to chapter 65. Reader, greetings. I am the Earth alien living in the house where Usopp's father, Yasopp's friend's brother's girlfriend used to live. Earth alien is someone who is half Earthling and half alien. Oda, really? Question corner is starting. Doo-doom. Question. On both sides of the skull on Don Krieg's pirate flag, there are hourglasses symbolizing the threat to his enemies. But were hourglasses ever really used like that? Answer. There really were Jolly Roger flags with hourglasses on them. They symbolize the prey's appointment with death. Basically, your time is running out. Question. Oda-sensei, since Luffy is a rubber man, do all of his body parts stretch? Answer. Yes, everything stretches. I am not going to elaborate on that question any further. Question. How many, How many G/CM3, 3 squared? I don't know how to read this out mathematically. I know what burger place do they have in Europe? I can't think of what specific European burger places they had up in Europe, because even when me and my family lived there, we still have Burger King and McDonald's up there. I don't know if there were any fast food restaurants that were specifically German, off the top of my head. Not that I can remember. If we got any burgers or something from any other places, it was just from in-house restaurants in some places. But I can't remember the exact name of it. It's been over, I want to say almost 20 years since I last been in Europe, so I can't remember everything. Question, how many, I don't know this measurement. I don't know how to say G/CM with a 3 over top. I don't know how to say that. Is Sanji's kick strength? Please calculate to 2 decimal points and let me know. Answer, to be frank, measurement is not possible. You know that game at the arcades where you can measure your kick strength? If, for example, Sanji did that, the whole machine would go flying out of the building. But if I had to put it into units, I'd say 21 bats. The energy required to break 21 wooden bats with 1 kick. Chapter 65, Prepared. Buggy's crew, after the battle, Part 20, Discovery, our pirate ship. Because Buggy is sailing with this unknown woman, and he sees his ship on the island where everyone was apparently duking it out to become the new leader of the pirates. With its point broken off, your spear is just a bomb on a stick. Your military might just got cut in half.
Is that what you think?
It's a catastrophe! Don Krieg's deadliest weapon! The mighty battle spear broken.
Joe Boy, stuff! Goes the fighting cooks.
A bomb on a stick? Perhaps, but I still have more than enough military might to blow you away. You were badly injured even before you took 2 blasts from my mighty battle spear. I think your tough talk is a bluff.
No, it's not.
Krieg's right. The kid's got to be pretty busted up by now. If he gets blasted one more time, he's dead meat.
And this is Sanji saying this.
It's no good. Krieg's got too much firepower.
Then it cuts to Zeph.
Even a man bristling with powerful explosions can be skewered by the spear of blind grit.
Huh?
In the life and death struggles of a pirate, he who hesitates is buzzard food. What are you saying? I'll say this for that kid. There's no giving him.
And it shows Luffy with his trademark smile on his face. You're never gonna make this dude give up.
In the end, it's not about weapons. Grit counts more than steel.
And Zeph just smiles. Grit, goes Sanji. Then it cuts to Krieg holding up his spear as he screams,
Give up! You were dead the moment you chose to oppose me.
We'll see about that. And he sticks his tongue out at Krieg. And Krieg launches an explosion towards Luffy, who latches on to a higher section of sail on where they're standing. Try to hit me!
You monkey!
And then Luffy is just swinging on this broken sail as Krieg destroys this whole post with the explosion of his spear. And Luffy's just palling around going, oh, like an actual monkey. And he holds on to one piece as Krieg looks as the part of the sail, like the main sail, it prepares to fall down on him, but he just swipes it with his spear and blows the section off so it doesn't touch him at all. And then while Luffy's holding a piece of that sail in his hands, he begins to chuck it at Don Krieg. So there!
Pathetic.
As Krieg causes a nozzle to pop up on his wrist, and it's a flamethrower, as he sets fire to the whole post that Luffy was trying to throw at him.
A flamethrower? He has an entire arsenal.
Gum! Gatling gun! And Luffy just hits Krieg over and over and over and over and over again. But Krieg is unscathed at the moment.
Weakling! This is Woot's steel armor. You can't even dent it.
And then Luffy just breathes in and goes, and... bullet! And he hits Krieg with a point-blank punch. But it currently doesn't show anything on his armor, as his own pirates goes, Don Krieg! And Krieg is just, even more livid that Luffy's trying to hit him even after he boasted about his Woot steel armor. But Luffy, after punching that same arm where he got stabbed in the shoulder with the stake, it starts to squirt out blood just a little bit.
Insolent fool!
And he sends Luffy almost flying with another explosion.
That was pathetic. You actually thought your monkey fist could shatter the strongest armor in the world?
And then Luffy just goes, a few more ought to do it. And then it cuts to Krieg, who's at the top of another section of this destroyed ship, of his destroyed flagship, because you can thank Mihawk for that.
I'm the world's strongest man, armed with the best equipment. That, my boy, is military might. Whoever opposes me dies, anchor boy.
And then it cuts to Don Krieg just throwing out more bombs down to where Luffy is.
Bombs! They'll blow the deck to splinters! Run, chore boy!
Bombs?
He's finished! The strong will always prevail.
And then Luffy runs going, and that would beat me! Don't go up there, kid! Run! It's a trap! And Luffy just runs up the post where Don Krieg is and goes, Gum!
You're doomed, just as I hoped. You fell for it!
And it shows Don Krieg hitting where Luffy is, and Luffy is currently engulfed in an explosion.
Your stubborn pride can't...
And before Krieg can even finish that sentence, Luffy, why did I call him Luffy? It sounded like Luffy. Luffy barrels through the smoke of this explosion and still manages to hit Krieg. Bazooka! And sends Krieg flying. But then it shows Luffy, whose eyes have whited out, as if all of his strength has left him.
You failed. Your strength is gone, but I applaud you. You managed to put a tiny crack in my armor. Die with pride!
And then it shows the whole area. You remember in You remember in the 4Kids version when Don Krieg used the poison gas, they substituted it with fart? They did? I don't remember it. But, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that's bad. That's horrendous. That's horrible. That's bad. That's bad. Die with pride! As all of those bombs that were still falling down towards Luffy before he hit Krieg with bazooka, they all go off. And Sanji can only look on as he's shocked to see this happen and think, in the end, it's not about weapons. Oh wait, he's thinking back to what Zeph said.
In the end, it's not about weapons. Grit counts more than steel.
Chore boy! And then it cuts to Luffy, who's still okay. Gum, as both he and Krieg are airborne. Now, mind you, Krieg is falling backwards. He has nothing to, maneuver himself through the air. But Luffy's right above him with no way for Krieg to defend himself. Gum, what? Bazooka! And Luffy hits Krieg again with another bazooka, but this time it breaks Krieg's armor and also hits Krieg. The force of the blow breaks his Woot steel armor, the strongest steel in the world. It completely shatters. You never seen that version? You were saved? Kohagen, you were indeed saved. The changes that the 4Kids did to One Piece are blasphemy, to say the least. Just pure blasphemy. To watch the 4Kids dub of One Piece and think that that's a good version of the show at all is tantamount to heresy. But Krieg gets hit with the bazooka, and that's the end of Chapter 65. We got another SBS, and then we can move on to Chapter 66. You guys let me know if you want me to continue reading through the SBS or just continue with the chapters as a whole. Just let me know if you guys just want it to be succinct through chapter to chapter. Just let me know. I'll just read this SBS, and you guys, I'll see what you guys say in the chat. SBS! Hey, H-John, have you been working on... Question. Hey, H-John, have you been working on One Piece like you're supposed to? Draw your best. All right, here's a question for you. Which One Piece characters have the highest and lowest IQs? Okay, that's it for today. Continue with SBS. All right, I got one from Kohagen. Answer. I'll tell you, but this only applies to the characters that have appeared so far. The highest IQ belongs to Shanks' first mate, Ben Beckman. His unrivaled intelligence and brawn make him an excellent aide for Shanks. Next highest is probably Captain Kuro, then Nami. As for the characters with the lowest IQs, I can't decide who is number one. There are just too many idiots. Question. Oda-sensei, is your house really made of cardboard? My friend said it is. You don't mind? Either way, we're good? All right, I'll continue as is then. That's another one from Ozzy. Answer. Yes. Yet through rain and wind and snow, I persevere, drawing manga. But it's okay. The ink I use is waterproof. Note, good children should not believe me. Don't mind, it's interesting. All right, that's another one. Question. What is the cape-like thing that Butchie of the Myaman brother wears? Is it a futon? Is it a futon? And Oda answers, it's a kotatsu buton, to be precise. He is a cat, after all. A kotatsu is a low-heated table that has a skirt-like quilt, futon or buton, that keeps people's leg warm when they sit at it. Cats love to sleep under them on cold days. Question. Is Luffy's pose on the cover of Volume 3 Ken Shimura's Ain? Answer. Hey, you're right. It's Ain. You nailed it. Ken Shimura is a famous Japanese comedian. All right, that's the end of SBS. Onwards to Chapter 66, The Chewed Up Spear. Buggy's crew after the battle, Part 21, An Unhappy Reunion. And Buggy, still walking with this woman, sees everything that was geared towards, apparently this funeral that the Buggy Pirates had. This individual sees this woman sees this picture of Buggy with, like the funeral ribbons on it. And then Buggy sees Kabaji and Moji just laying down after having beaten each other up. Chapter 66, The Chewed Up Spear. And then it shows Luffy airborne after shattering Don Krieg's entire armor, sending Don Krieg flying. Don Krieg! And then the fighting cooks are just looking and cheering. Sanji looks on in utter amazement. And we see Don Krieg falling towards the ocean.
Shut up, fools!
What? You're alive?
Of course, boy.
And then Don Krieg shoots out a net towards Luffy. And he grabs onto Luffy.
You won't escape from my iron net. That's the sea below you. You lose, anchor boy. All I have to do is toss you into the ocean. And I get the last laugh, as I knew I would.
That's our Don Krieg!
Drown, rubber boy!
And it cuts to Luffy, who manages to get his feet free from the net. If I can get my arms and legs out, this match is mine!
Ah! Like that rotten kid? He still got fight left in him? I thought the sea was his nemesis!
And then it cuts to Sanji, who goes, he doesn't give up. He doesn't give. Not for an instant. What drives him? And then Luffy starts spinning his free legs around each other as like they're getting intertwined with one another. And then it ends. It ends with Luffy. It ends with Luffy grabbing onto Krieg's face with his feet. Like it's all wrapped around each other. And then his feet culminates into grabbing a hold of Krieg's face. While Krieg thinks,
He fights on against overwhelming power, against my colossal strength.
Then it cuts to Zeph.
How does he do it? How can he keep fighting even now?
What?
Were you thinking the same thing? How can you keep going over and over? How can you keep going over and over? I'm Don Krieg, Admiral of the Pirate Armada. Men, kill this pest!
As it cuts to Krieg, as it cuts to the Don Krieg pirates, who all suddenly pull out crossbows. Where were y'all keeping these? Y'all been in the water for the past 48 hours. Where were y'all keeping these crossbows? Y'all were just in the water. Y'all didn't have nothing with you. Where y'all suddenly get these crossbows from? I'm sorry. But they just pull out a whole bunch of crossbows.
Aye, aye, Captain. Aye, aye, Don Krieg.
And then it cuts to Luffy, who goes, this is the end! As it shows Luffy starting to pull Don Krieg into the air.
Everybody, shoot at once!
And before they can shoot, it shows people getting hit multiple times. And it shows Sanji standing on the faces of two members of Don Krieg's crew going, don't. You're going down. He's standing on the faces. Like, he beat up two members of Don Krieg's crew, and he's now standing on their faces, daring the rest of them to do anything to Luffy. Don't. You're going down. And then they don't do anything. And then Krieg slowly starts spitting faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until he's literally a blur because Luffy's now unraveling his legs, going, gum, gum! And then Krieg is screaming to the top of his lungs because he really can't do anything. Giant Gavel! And with every ounce of strength he has, Luffy ends this attack with slamming Krieg's head headfirst into the last remaining platform right next to the Baratier. Full force. It's so massive, it's just a double spread panel of Luffy slamming his head into the ground. And it just shows Don Krieg basically cratering into the platform itself while all the Don Krieg pirates just scream out in terror.
Ah! Don Krieg!
John Boy, you did it! And then it cuts to Patty. He really did it. He beat Don Krieg. Then it cuts to Luffy, who is then sent into the ocean because, he was over the ocean the whole time. And then Luffy just momentarily loses consciousness because he's spent all of his strength, and he falls into the ocean. And then it cuts to Krieg, who's just still massively unconscious. He is not moving. Krieg lost.
If that ragtag fleet of Kriegs is military might, and his fancy weapons are military might, then that kid's grit is military might too. Grit. Even a man bristling with powerful explosions can be skewered by the spear of blind grit. Grit.
Don Krieg, don't give up! Blast, how could the Admiral lose?
But I know a fool who's chewing a spear of his own for no good reason. You better haul him up. That kid can't float. The sea hates those with the power of the devil fruit. They sink like anchors.
And it shows Luffy slowly sinking into the ocean.
You should have told us that sooner, crap geezer!
Then it just shows Luffy's hat next to a stake, and Sanji taking his shoes and jacket off and diving into the ocean after Luffy, while Zeph just kind of smiles and walks back into the restaurant. Then it cuts back to Gin.
Krieg lost? I never thought he could lose. He was the master of these waters.
But just look there!
There are pieces of his armor all over the place.
He was the only man I ever admired. I thought he was the strongest man in the world.
Sit still, you swab! If you move, the poison will...
Will it spread if he moves around?
Yeah, the poison will it spread if he moves around?
Who knows, but it can't be good for him. Just lie down!
Then it cuts to Sanji, who pops up out of the ocean with Luffy in tow.
Hey, don't die.
And then it cuts to Luffy, who's very much alive, and it seems like he's sleeping.
First one, now the other.
And then it cuts back to when Zoro was facing off against Mihawk.
If I retreat even one step, my vow, my ambition, everything I cared about will be shattered.
And then it cuts back to Luffy, who takes a stake out of his shoulder, going, "This isn't my place to die." And then it cuts back to when Sanji was telling Zoro, "It's easy, abandon your stupid dream." And then it cuts to someone going,
I am the strongest! No one stands before me!
And it is Krieg. Krieg is up, but he's not all there.
Stop, Don Krieg! You're hurt! You have to keep still!
Until today, no one ever defeated me in battle. No one could stand before my military might.
Krieg!
I will continue to win! Continue! Win! Win!
Hold him down! He's out of his mind!
I am the strongest man in the world!
And then there's just a massive punch sound as it cuts to someone punching Don Krieg square in his midsection, causing Krieg to fall unconscious once again and spew out more blood from his mouth.
Don Krieg, we lost.
Battle Commander! Because it was Gin who just told Krieg, shut up, and then just punches Krieg with all of his strength, knocking him unconscious once again. Battle Commander!
Let's take our defeat like men and start again from zero. Thank you for your kindness, Sanji. Sure, don't come back.
And that is the end of Chapter 66. Another SBS, and then we have Chapter 67. Question, does Sanji like to say crap? Answer, he loves to. Q. Question. I said Q. Question. I don't understand the naval rank system very well. Is a captain the highest position? Is Kobe at Navy HQ or at a branch office? How high up is Lieutenant Fullbody? And then Oda has the whole hierarchy of the Navy so that everyone can understand. And this can be like a nice fresh reminder to everyone to understand the hierarchy of the Navy as well. The ranks work something like this, but this only holds true for the Navy in the world of One Piece. Kobe is at branch 153. The branches scattered around the world are commanded by officers with a rank higher than captain. Maybe someday Kobe will be an officer. So here is how it's set up. At the bottom, we have Chore Boy. Then upwards from that, we have Seaman, and then Seaman Apprentice, and then Seaman Recruit. Above that is Master Chief Petty Officer, and then Regular Petty Officer. Then we have Warrant Officer. Then we have Lieutenant, Lieutenant Junior Grade, and then Ensign. Above that is Captain, Commander, and then Lieutenant Commander. Above that is Vice Admiral, Rear Admiral, and then Commodore. And then above that, is Admiral, also known as Governor General. And then above that is Fleet Admiral, head of the Navy. And then above that is the World Government Commander-in-Chief, higher than any naval rank. And that's pretty much how it is right now. Question. In Volume 5, page 159, panel 3, there's a fat guy. Did he steal some of that girl's food? Answer. Very perceptive. Wow, that's Mr. Motzel, the gourmand. Yes, he filched some of her food. Afterwards, they got in a fight. The girl is Mr. Motzel's daughter. Thank you, Sanji. Yeah, make like Michael Jackson and beat it. Kyushu, if I download the DLCs for Neo 2, can you go 750 in the base game? Yeah, just having the DLCs for Neo pretty much increases the level cap. It's not just going to increase your level cap when you beat the DLCs. The DLCs automatically increase the level cap for you. So if you got the DLCs for Neo 2, then you can go that far. So yeah, you got it. It doesn't lock the level ups to you actually having to beat the DLCs. Just having them alone unlocks that passive for you for the base game. Chapter 67, The Soup. Buggy's crew after the battle, part 22, Richie Arvine. Richie's pirate crew stewed in red wine. And it shows Richie and the rest of the crew being cooked by the Kumite tribe, while elsewhere, Buggy pretty much walked in on Kabaji and Kabaji and Moji. Hey, you swab, you breathe deadly poison!
That man tried to kill you. Don't you want revenge?
And Gin doesn't say anything.
Sanji, when that kid wakes up, tell him something for me. Tell him I hope our paths cross again on the Grand Line.
You're still a pirate?
Sheesh, what a stubborn fool.
I gave it a lot of thought, and pirating is the only thing I want to do. Somehow Don Krieg's dreams have become my dreams.
And it just shows Gin standing there with an unconscious Don Krieg, whose body, who's bent in half over Gin's shoulder, is still just as tall as Gin. Like, you realize how big of an individual you have to be for your lower half and your legs to be almost as tall as the person who's carrying you over their shoulder, and then you still have the upper body that's over the back as well. That's a tall joker. Don Krieg's a tall joker. But Sanji doesn't say anything, and then it cuts to Gin, who suddenly starts coughing up blood because, he still hasn't fully recovered from the poison yet. Gin!
Gin! I may only have a few hours left to live. It may be foolish for a half-dead man to commit himself to anything, but it's good medicine. From now on, I'm going to steer my own course. And if I do, I'll be hunted like a wolf. Loyalty to Krieg? Ha! For a long time, I've been hiding in his shadow. When you really commit yourself, you don't worry about the enemy or even about your own life. The kid taught me that.
And Gin just smiles through a bloody face.
Patty, Carne, give these guys our supply boat.
What? Are you insane?
Why should we give our boat to a bunch of pirates who attacked us? Let the scoundrels swim, I say.
How will we get our supplies, idiot? And then it cuts to Sanji going,
get the boat!
Okay. Don't shout, we'll get it. I'll beat that crap Sanji to death.
He's always ordering us around.
As both Patty and Carne get upset that Sanji's just ordering them around just so easily.
Yeah, but that motherless shark has the chef's kick.
If we are going to do it, now's the time when he's injured. If we get about 15 men at attack at night, we just might...
All that?
They're literally plotting. They're literally plotting to take down Sanji. Just because. Just because! Then it cuts to time later. And we're still at the Baratier. Huh? My hat!
It's right there.
Oh, yeah.
You're awake.
As Sanji is, looking after Luffy, and Luffy's fully awake now. But he's covered in bandages all over.
You're awake.
And then Luffy just takes off one of the bandages and peels it off of his head. And you know how some bandages feel like they're stuck on with super glue, so you gotta be careful ripping them off?
Sorry, we ran out of bandages.
I don't need any.
You don't.
The pirates.
Gone, thanks to you.
And then it cuts to when Sanji was speaking to Gin.
You know, fear and hesitations? Huh? That stuff seems foolish when I see that boy in action.
And then it cuts to Luffy, who's just fast asleep next to Sanji before we're here at the present time.
See you around.
We'll sink! We'll sink!
As it cuts to all of the Krieg pirates trying to fit in a small supply boat. They're so big that it's like a mound of dudes in a boat that should only be able to fit at least about 20 people or so. There were tons more Krieg pirates, and they're all just piling in. And you see Pearl off to the side. And I believe Krieg is in there someplace, but I can't really make him out of any other place.
See you around.
We'll sink! We'll sink!
Thanks for the boat. Can we keep it? Return it at your own risk, you scoundrel. This is one tough eatery.
Hey! Get these into your head! They are piled in layers. This is the fighting ocean-going restaurant Baratier! And then it cuts to the fighting cooks who, scream a cry of victory after everything that's transpired.
He hopes to see you on the Grand Line. That's what Gin said.
He hopes to see you there?
Not me, you fool!
Oh yeah, my time as chore boy ends today. I made a deal with the old man.
That's right, congratulations. So will you? I won't be joining your crew. I'm staying on here as a cook until the crap geezer acknowledges my skills.
Okay, suit yourself. And then Sanji says, tell your hand to give up too, because it shows Luffy holding on to the back of Sanji's shirt as if to say, like, I really am not leaving without you. Then it cuts to him talking to Luffy.
After all that's happened, there's even more reason not to go. None of these slobs can be counted on, but someday I will go to the Grand Line.
Then come with us now!
Now's not the time. Ever hear of the All Blue?
And then Sanji's face lights up like, when you really care about something, you like to talk about it. And if it's something you enjoy, you say it with a smile on your face. And your whole countenance just completely changes. Like Sanji was just like mulling over and just staring off into the distance. And as soon as he started talking about the All Blue, his face just lights up.
Ever hear of the All Blue?
No.
What? You don't know about that wondrous ocean? In those waters.
And as Sanji is talking to Luffy, Zeph looks down, and he's just seeing just how excited Sanji is to talk about stuff that he's interested in. And he's just watching as Luffy and Sanji are talking to each other, and Sanji's smile has not left his face. When you really get into a conversation that you're incredibly interested in, sometimes you forget what type of face your face is making. So if you're smiling from the beginning, you kind of don't lose that smile until like you're completely finished and then the whole subject is over and done with. Sanji is really invested in this conversation talking about what he enjoys. I'm pretty sure you guys have encountered those moments in your life as well. Talking about something you enjoy and your whole mood just changes because it's like, oh yeah, I could really get into this. And Zeph is just watching.
He still lights up when he talks about it. The fool.
And then it cuts to someone ringing the lunch bell going, chow time, come and get it! Second floor of Baratier, employee dining room. Hey, who's cooking today? That would be me. And moi. And it cuts to Patty and Carne speaking. Saying that they're going to be the ones who cook. Then another cook goes, the rogue duo, eh? I'll prepare my poor stomach. Just shut up and eat, ya rats! And then it cuts to Sanji, who walks in on everyone.
Huh? Hey, where are our chairs?
And our food! And then it cuts to them looking at the other chefs, as the chefs are going, no chairs for you guys.
Sit on the floor.
No chairs? This is a restaurant. Ah, well.
And then Luffy and Sanji just go over to a corner and eat their food in peace.
Those guys are acting strange. Strange is normal for them.
Hey, who made the soup? Who was it?
Oh, I did. Delicious, huh? It's an especially good batch.
It tastes like crap. I can't eat it. Is it soup or chum? And then Patty just throws the soup on the floor. And we all know how Sanji feels about people wasting food. he immediately gets angry. And Luffy is just watches, but he still eats.
So, human food doesn't suit you, eh, crap raccoon?
Takes talent to make something that foul. Makes me want to puke. You flavor it with dirty socks?
I'd stake my reputation on that soup. You have an undiscerning palate.
Ah, it's awful.
And then Carne starts saying how the food's bad. And then the rest of the cooks keep going like,
it's no good. Throw it out. I can't eat this.
And Sanji is just utterly shocked to see them all just destroying all the food. Yo, Ravi, good to see you. We are on chapter 67.
What's gotten into you apes? You phony sous chef, you're a hack. I'm sick of being bullied by you. If something tastes bad, I'm gonna say so.
What? And then Sanji gets angrier and angrier that his food is being insulted. And even more of his food gets dropped. And then we see that it's Zeft who drops some food. Chef!
Geezer!
And Luffy is still eating.
Hey, who made this crap awful muck? We can't serve a mess like this to our customers.
Cut it out, crap geezer! How's your soup different from this one, well?
My soup? Why, you sassy pup!
And then it cuts to Zeph, who just punches Sanji in the face. I know what's happening here. I remember the end result, but I know what's happening. I know what's happening in the process of it.
Chef punched him.
You'll never be able to cook like me, baby eggplant. I've cooked on all the oceans of the world.
Instead of kicking, he punched him.
Have I seen the One Piece live action, How to Pronounce Luffy? It also it has an animated logo. Yes, I have seen it. I was like doing something and then I saw the Netflix crew saying how you pronounce Luffy's name. I saw that. I saw it. Man, Kyushu, if Sanji was a real character, you would love to try his food. I'd love to try his food as well. But Sanji gets upset and Zeph just glares at him and Sanji leaves and slams the door. Crap! And then it cuts to Luffy who goes, but this soup is really good. And then it cuts to the rest of the chefs who go, we know. Man, I was scared. What a temper.
We all know that Sanji's a great chef.
And then it cuts to Zeph who goes,
but if we don't do something like this, he won't listen. Hey, kid. That baby eggplant. Will you take him with you? The Grand Line is his dream.
As it cuts to Sanji, who's apparently listening in because he's just outside of the door and he realizes what the chefs are doing. They're trying to drive him out of the restaurant so he can embrace his dreams. They're being mean for his sake.
That was a mean thing Chef made us do.
I sweated through my jacket. Give me some more of that soup. Aye, me too. And me.
I can hear you, you crap jerks.
And that is the end of chapter 67. Onwards to chapter 68, The Fourth Person. Buggy's Crew, After the Battle, Part 23, Suspicious Parts. And this is when we see Richie and the rest of the crew still being cooked in this giant pot by the Kumite tribe, where some of them go over and they see this weird bundle of parts, so they untie it. And given that we know whose body parts these are, it's only a matter of time before who they belong to return to him. Chapter 68, The Fourth Person. Take Sanji? With me? No way. What?
Why not, boy? Don't you need a cook for your ship? Isn't he good enough for you?
I'd love to have Sanji for our cook, but he said he wants to stay here. You can't decide for him. He has to do it.
So, you won't take him unless he agrees to go?
That's right. Seconds. And then he finishes his food and is all like, I want more. Being a rubber man has advantages when you're a massive glutton.
Well, fair enough. But who knows whether that crazy crap kid will agree to it. I don't think he will. He's stubborn.
More soup! And then Sanji's just outside of the door, steadily smoking. And then it cuts to someone in the ocean as they're, forcibly taking in water, goes... And then Sanji can see it and goes, huh? What the? As something flies into the air. Something flies into the air and then crashes onto the deck. Ah! Sanji!
What is it? A merman?
He came all the way from Fishman Island to eat our food?
This is the first mention of Fishman Island in the series. Chapter 68 is the first mention of Fishman Island? What? This is the first mention of Fishman Island in the series. Volume 8. Volume 8, Chapter 68.
He came all the way from Fishman Island to eat our food? It's a man and a panda shark, moron! It's a man and a panda shark, moron. Yosaku!
Brother Luffy.
Why are you alone? Where are the others? And Nami? And then it cuts to Yosaku, who's being bundled up. The only person who can compete with Sanji in cooking is Soma from Food Wars, but Sanji is still better. See, this is the reason why I've never watched Food Wars before. And I feel like I can, because every time I watch an episode where they're cooking food, I would need to eat. I can't watch it because knowing me, I would have to go out and eat. Seeing food makes me hungry. Especially if it's gorgeous looking food. It makes me hungry and I would have to go out and eat. I would have to eat every single episode. No, too dangerous. Can't do that. Can't do that. But it comes to Yosaku.
We didn't catch her, but by the wake of Sister Nami's ship, we were able to roughly guess a course.
Didn't even pay attention to that yourself, to be honest, and I've been reading this for years. Well, since this is my first time reading the chapters, like actually reading these chapters for myself, this is new to me. I never really thought about when was the first time that Fishman Island was mentioned. I never thought about it. But for it to be just to be referenced on literally the chapter, literally the Baratier arc, I had no idea.
We didn't catch her, but by the wake of Sister Nami's ship, we were able to roughly guess her course.
You were? Then we can go get her.
That's just it. The way she's headed, if our calculations were correct, she's headed for an unbelievable place. I'll tell you the details later. Anyway, we need your strength, Brother Luffy. Come with me.
Food Wars does the same thing to me. You're not alone. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. If you put some gorgeous looking food in front of me, I'm going to be hungry and I'm going to need to eat something for that feeling to go away for about the length of the episode. And then I'll be hungry later. That's the reason I never watch Food Wars. And I can't watch it because I would have to have food in front of me to compensate for the fact I can't eat the food in the episodes.
Anyway, we need your strength, Brother Luffy. Come with me.
Okay, but I don't get it.
No, I do get it. Let's go.
Wait. I'll go. Take me with you.
And this is Sanji saying this to Luffy.
What?
Sanji, you. Please don't speak of food anymore. I'm gonna stop.
Sanji, you. I might as well sail with you on your quest to become king of the pirates. We both have foolish dreams, so I'll chase mine too. You've got yourself a cook. Okay? Not okay?
Okay! Hooray! This is great, Brother Luffy! Yeah! And then Yosaku and Johnny are just jumping around and celebrating.
So that's that. I caused you a lot of trouble.
I don't like it. I was going to throw you out with my own hands. Now you go and decide to jump ship.
Your acting is crap bad, Patty.
You knew?
You fools weren't exactly whispering.
What?
You went to some trouble to chase me off. Hey, crap geezer.
Before you go, I'm gonna teach you to talk nice. And this is Patty saying this to Sanji because of what Sanji said to Zeph. And then Zeph just holds him back and goes,
You know, baby eggplant, I never like kids. Not a day goes by that I don't regret saving your worthless life.
Oh yeah? Fine, crap geezer. Enjoy the rest of your life.
And then it cuts to Yosaku and Johnny outside.
Oh, this ship's a beauty. Can we really take her?
Sure, she belongs to Sanji. You want more supplies?
Yeah, more meat.
How many days will you be sailing? Who knows? Luffy's literally asking for almost all of their meat because he loves meat. Then it cuts to Zeph in his still destroyed quarters. Thinking back,
That Sanji, bloodthirsty cutthroats or escaped convicts. If they're hungry, if bloodthirsty cutthroats or escaped convicts, if they're hungry and can make it to this restaurant, then there's a reason for us to keep fighting.
And it cuts to Sanji, who has his stuff together, but he just sits down in the restaurant, I guess, one final time.
Amazing crap, Giza! So this is the Baratier. So this is Baratier, the ocean-going restaurant. That's right.
That's right. I sank my whole fortune into it, and I still owe a heap. It's gonna be a bustling place.
Never fear, Sanji's here.
Stop calling me
Baby Eggplant, you crap geezer.
Stop. Sorry, crap baby eggplant.
And then it cuts to Sanji, who's at a young age, who's trying to smoke at a young age.
Don't start smoking, it'll scupper your sense of taste.
And then it cuts to Sanji, who's still smoking now, and he cuts back to Zeph, who's just chilling on the bed. He cuts back to Zeph as he's just chilling on his bed.
Now I'm a man.
Goes Sanji as he's, starts smoking at a very young age and has been smoking ever since. Then it cuts to Carne, and Patty as he goes, "Hey, is this Red Shoes Jeff's grub shop?
Is this help wanted crap cooks welcome for real? Idiot! We can't serve this slop to customers! You eat it!"
And it cuts to Zeph, who kicks Sanji in the face. That Triple D show does it for you. That dang Guy Fieri. Look. I'm not going to talk about food because when Guy Fieri eats like a sandwich, it's never normal. It's never normal. It is always something with something with something with something, and it looks so tantalizing. I cannot.
Idiot, we can't serve this slop to customers. You eat it.
And then it cuts to Zeph kicking Sanji in the face.
You hear about the proprietor? They say he's a failed pirate.
And then it cuts to Sanji beating up the same customer going,
"Wanna say that again?"
"Chef! Sanji almost killed another customer!" Another. And then it cuts to Zeph, who beats up Sanji in front of everyone. Can you mute Ozzy? No, we can't. It's just making me hungry. As soon as I'm done, I gotta get myself a nice big meal of some kind. I don't know if it's gonna be a Zaxby's plate. I don't know if it's gonna be like a double quarter pounder with cheese, with medium fries and a sweet tea. I don't know what it's going to be, but it has to be something. I'm hungry. Baratier, you've ruined me today. Because now I desire food.
Don't you annoy my cooks!
Come on, we gotta stop Chef! Because it's not Zeph beating up on Sanji, it's Zeph beating up on the same customer who apparently was annoying his chefs.
Slop slingers, if you value your lives, give us all the food you've got. Every last crumb.
And it cuts to some pirates trying to raid the Baratier. And then it cuts to the fighting cooks who are all ready to square up. And then Sanji goes, "Did he say something?" "I didn't hear nothing." And then it cuts to the Baratier currently.
Our new cook brother's late.
And then it cuts to Sanji, who makes his way out as the chefs are waiting for him.
"Oh, there he is."
And Sanji just walks out. And then it cuts to Patty and Carne bearing down on Sanji going, "We've been saving this up for years!"
Say your prayers, Sanji!
And they appear that they want to beat up Sanji before he leaves. And then the next panel just shows both Patty and Carne just laying face first with bloodied faces.
They never stood a chance.
And then it just cuts to Sanji as he's walking away. He's just walking away as he goes,
Let's go.
aren't you going to say goodbye?
That's okay.
And then it cuts to Zeph as he goes,
Hey, Sanji. Keep your feet dry.
and then Sanji, just like his limit has been reached, and he immediately just starts tearing up. He just starts tearing up. And Zeph is just smiling at him. And then Sanji screams,
Chef Zeph! All these years, I lived under your crap roof. I owe you my life. I'll never forget you.
as Sanji bows head first down in front of Zeph and all of the chefs who are there. And the other chefs are looking upwards because it looks like they're crying as well. Yeah, they are. They are. Like, you watched the episode where this person made blueberry barbecue sauce, and I'm just sitting there like, wait, what? Did I hear that person right? Psycho, be careful. The talk of food is very strong in chat right now. We're all hungry.
I'll never forget you.
And then Zeph just smiles as he tears up as well. Then it cuts to Patty. It cuts to Patty and Carne as they sit up and they start crying too.
I'm gonna miss you, you gosh darn it. I'm going to miss you, gosh darn it. I'll miss you too.
And then Sanji is just crying. And then all the chefs are going,
We're all gonna miss you. It's so sad.
and then Sanji just keeps crying. And then Zeph is just crying hard as well.
Sentimental fools. A man ought to take his leave quietly.
As Zeph is crying and he's wiping his tears, and then Sanji screams,
Goodbye, you crap guys.
and then it cuts to Luffy. We're off! Set sail! Check Goda! And they sail away. And that is the end of chapter 68. Onwards to chapter 69. Nice. Arlong Park. Our heroes leave Baratie in their wake with Sanji, the precious sea cook, who has joined Luffy's crew. The weather is fair. How long are you gonna keep blubbering? Cheer up!
But it was all so moving.
And this is Yosaku, who's still, very emotional from seeing the farewell of the Baratie and Sanji and his former fellow cooks.
Such a beautiful talking. Such a beautiful leave taking, brother cook.
Can you even see to steer this tub?
And then it cuts to Luffy. I can't wait to get Nami back and head for the Grand Line.
Look, even if you get Nami back, there's still only 5 of us.
You really plan to take on... And then it cuts to... Oh, this is Sanji saying this. You love this moment, so heartwarming. It's an emotional moment. There's so many of them in the story, and we're going to get to all the major ones before chapter 828.
Look, even if you get Nami back, there's still only 5 of us. You really plan to take on the Grand Line with such a small crew? The sea doesn't give many second chances.
I'll gather more crewmen when we get to the Grand Line. After all, it's paradise.
Paradise? It's a pirate's graveyard.
That's not what Chef Zeph told me. He said for some people, the Grand Line is paradise. Then it cuts to Sanji.
The crap geezer said that. Well, if Nami was with me, I wouldn't care if there was only 2 of us.
You're taking this too lightly, brothers. You don't know what the Grand Line is like. Even Brother Zoro would be intimidated if he knew the truth. Sister Nami is on a collision course with one scary guy. You mark my words. Time to eat! Yay! Wait! You need to understand where we're sailing into. There's a reason the Grand Line is called the Pirate's Graveyard. It's because of the 3 great powers that rules these waters. One of those powers is the 7 warlords of the sea. The who? And this is the first mention of the warlords. Chapter 69. The 7 warlords of the sea. The who? The 7 government-recognized pirate leaders.
What?
Why would the government recognize pirates? The 7 warlords of the sea inhabit wild regions, and unlicensed pirates are easy targets for the marauding. The government allows the 7 warlords to raid the seas in return for a cut of their haul. Other pirates call them government dogs, but they're tough. Remember Hawkeye Mihawk, who defeated Brother Zoro? He's one of them. He's one of the 7.
And the 7, one of the 7 of One Piece could be one of the 7 of the boys.
Wow, there are 6 more like him? The 7 warlords must be impressive.
And Sanji doesn't say anything. And then it cuts to Yosaku, who says,
the problem is one of the 7. Jinbei, the leader of the Fishman Pirates.
the first mention of Jinbei! I'm experiencing all of this for the first time, and it's just locking in like, wow. Some of these characters have been mentioned way earlier in the series, and I never knew because I never read this. I didn't know. I know these characters now because of where they've shown up, but I didn't know that they were mentioned this early. We're not even in the triple digits and he's getting mentioned. Okay.
The problem is one of the 7. Jinbei, the leader of the Fishman Pirates. Jinbei, the leader of the Fishman Pirates.
Fishman pirates? Never met him.
Fishman, huh? Fishman Island in the Grand Line is famous, isn't it? I've heard there are beautiful mermaids there. In exchange for becoming one of the 7 warlords, Jinbei released a holy terror into the East Blue.
Like this? What an ugly fish! As it cuts to Luffy's bad drawing of a fishman.
Can't you two stay serious for a minute? Fine, we'll skip the history lesson. Right now we're headed for Arlong Park. Arlong's a fishman. He used to be Jinbei's equal. This is his territory. He makes Don Krieg look like a pussycat. But you turned back halfway, right? How do you know that's where Nami went? She could have gone somewhere else in that direction. Johnny and I got a hunch. Given her course and recalling a certain incident,
back when Nami was looking at the wanted posters.
What's this, Johnny?
Wanted posters, pirates and bounties.
Wanted posters, pirates and bounties.
And this was when Yosaku and Johnny got beaten up earlier. And Nami's looking at it. And Yosaku notices.
Why do you keep staring at that bounty list? What? No reason.
Those are all big bounty pirates, but you better give that one a wide berth. It was Arlong's poster Sister Nami was eyeballing. And right after we mentioned that Arlong's crew had been plundering a lot lately, Sister Nami took the treasure and left us. It was no coincidence, I say. There's some connection there.
How about this one? And then it shows Luffy still drawing another fishman badly.
That's just a standing version of your last fish.
But what business could Nami have with that fishman? Maybe she's really a mermaid. She's pretty enough.
Huh? I'll murder ya!
Goes Sanji as Luffy just puts hair on the same old bad drawing he had before.
Haven't you heard a word I said?
Sure, there's some mean fishman, right? Got it.
No, you don't got it. His strength is unimaginable.
Well, we'll find out when we get there.
Yeah, don't worry, Yosaku.
What a waste of breath!
Okay, let's eat. What would you like?
Meat on a bone!
Stir-fried bean sprouts for me. Got it. Leave it to me.
It sure is nice to have a cook.
I'd rather be cooking for Nami than you swabs.
Oh, bean sprouts! A big helping!
Then it cuts to another location. Northwestern sector of the East Blue. And we see a pirate flag. Another pirate flag with what looks to be some sort of fish on with a needle saw-like nose on the front of it.
Here you go, this month's cut. Take it. Here you go, this month's cut. Take it.
How do I say this laugh? It's H-Y-I-K, H-Y-I-K, H-Y-I-K.
You certainly understand how the world works. Many thanks.
Where's Zoro and Usopp? They're apparently supposed to be heading in the direction where Nami was. Yosaku apparently got knocked overboard or he wound up in a different place. But Zoro and Usopp were still heading in the direction of Nami, so chances are they're still chasing her.
You certainly understand how the world works. Many thanks.
Captain Nezumi of Naval Base 16.
Ha 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 ha! Don't be so formal. Money makes the world go round.
Sawtooth Arlong, captain of the Arlong Pirates.
Money is good. It's the only thing a man can really believe in.
To be sure.
Ha 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 ha! You know, I don't much like human males, but you're not bad. You and I speak the same language.
Well, that concludes our business. I must be going. It looks bad for a patrol ship to anchor here overnight.
Always in such a hurry. Drink with me. Let's live a little. Anybody squeals on you, I'll gut 'em.
I noticed for a quick second that notice it cut me off. It cut me off. Hold on, let's go back. I gotta go back because for some reason it skipped.
Money is good. It's the only thing a man can really believe in.
To be sure.
Ha 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 ha! You know, I don't much like human males, but you're not bad. You and I speak the same language.
Well, that concludes our business. I must be going. It looks bad for a patrol ship to anchor here overnight.
Always in such a hurry. Drink with me. Let's live a little. Anybody squeals on you, I'll gut 'em.
No, I really must excuse myself.
Hey, the captain's leaving. Tow him to his ship. Hold on. Let me fix this. There we go. Yee, the captain's leaving. Tow him to his ship. Get in the octopus pod. I'll take you. Hot John, Hachi, Arlong's first mate.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
You got an interesting face, Mausumi. Your name sure fits you. It really tickles me.
Hold your tongue, Hachi. Captain Nezumi is a valued customer.
Ooh, yeah. So here's the thing. It shows Arlong with sharp teeth in every panel except for this one where he apparently has straight teeth when he's talking to Hachi.
Hold your tongue, Hachi. Captain Nezumi is a valued customer.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry. Anyhow, get in. Sorry,
Captain. That one's got a big mouth.
No harm done.
It's not.
Those fishmen are a creepy lot, but they have their virtues.
Arlong Park, East Gate. Out of my way, you! I'm gonna get.
Out of my way, you! I'm gonna get Arlong! He murdered my father! Move or I'll get you too!
And it's a small kid standing in front of someone. And it's Nami!
I mean it!
As this kid says with tears in his eyes. And then Nami takes her staff and smacks the kid across the face.
Arlong doesn't have time to bother with a snot-nosed kid. Now go home. Here's some money. Spend it wisely. Buy a ticket home. You witch!
And then Nami walks in.
Ah, you're back. Long trip?
The mansion's unguarded as usual.
Who dared to attack me? How was your harvest?
Excellent, but I feel a strange emptiness in my heart.
Ha 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 ha! Been reading poetry? Betrayal is your specialty.
You think so?
Come, comrades! One of our own has returned. Prepare a feast. Tuna tonight!
And then it cuts to Nami as we finally see Nami's uncovered shoulder. This whole time she's been having shirts that covered up her arm. As it shows the pirate flag, and it shows that Nami has the same insignia on her arm. Officer Nami, Arlong's pirate crew. And then we see Arlong Park, which is just like a massive mansion beachfront type thing. And then it cuts to, as we see, Zoro, Usopp, and Johnny.
That's the place.
Nami's in there?
And that's the end of chapter 69. Onwards to chapter 70. How many chapters do I have? Oh, one more after this one. One more. SBS. To become a girl who is as cool and as strong as Zoro, what should I do? Answer. A girl. Let's see. First of all, do squats and eat sardines to strengthen your mental powers. Question. Why did I look over there when the camera's right there? Sorry, it's a force of habit from my older days. Question. Oda-sensei, hello, or rather, ni hao. I use my whole brain to compose Luffy's song. Please read it, dance, and cry. First verse. Gum, 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 yay, yay. Am I a gum person or a rubber man? Gum, 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 yahoo. La, 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 ooh. I like this song. La, 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 ooh. Second verse. Gum, 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 stretch. I'm the king of the pirates. I'm amazing. Gum, 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 after a moon. It's a really weird song. See? I like the first verse better than the second verse. What do you think? Do I win? Shall I go? Well, here I go. And answer, yay, yes, go. Go far. Then another question. Is Luffy natural or synthetic rubber? This is an inquiry from the Meteorological Agency in cooperation with the Ministry of Education. Natural rubber. That's the answer. Question. When my friends and I talk about One Piece, I like Shanks. Friend S likes Zoro, and friend I likes Luffy. But R likes Buggy and Django. Should he see a doctor? Answer. One would have to be seriously ill to like those two. Please tell him to rest quietly at home and drink plenty of liquids. And tell him that if he perseveres, good things will come to him. Chapter 70. The Great Adventure of Usopp the Man. And an entire section of One Piece that's completely omitted from the 4Kids dub. Literally the most important stories that lead up to Arlong Park are completely absent from the 4Kids dub. The blasphemers.
That's the place.
Now our troubles begin. That's the place, goes Zoro.
Now our troubles begin. First of all, where did Sister Nami dock the ship?
So, we hack our way in, and Zoro's just ready to square up right now. He's ready to square up right now.
What are you thinking?
Are you crazy? We don't know anything about this place.
Both Johnny and Usopp reprimand him. Oh, that's interesting. Then we got a whole page where it shows all the Straw Hat crews wielding samurai swords. And I'm just thinking, wow. Wow. They're all dressed up in samurai garb and they're in... Interesting. That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
There it is! I found it! The Merry-Go! It's anchored in a weird spot!
Hey, you guys, come on, untie me! As it shows that Usopp and Johnny have basically tied Zoro to the cabin so that he can't move. But I'm thinking, you have not seen this man fight or do anything with his strength. And you think a rope is going to keep him there?
She sure left it in a strange place. It's near Cocoa Village. Untie me!
And it shows Zoro struggling to get out, with Usopp going,
Settle down, you'll open your wounds. You're still recuperating, you know. Just leave it to me. I'll bring that woman back.
You sure got brave when you found out it's not at Arlong Park.
Hard to starboard! Bring us alongside the Merry-Go!
Aye, aye.
I'm an intrepid adventurer about to set foot on an unexplored island. On an unexplored land. I shall call this The Great Adventure of Usopp the Man. Like that, Johnny?
Aye, aye. And then they make it on to port. And then they make it onto port, and they see a whole bunch of fishmen just standing at the port.
The Fishman! Full speed ahead!
Aye, aye. Hey, you're sailing past it, goes Zoro.
Shh! 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 Are you blind? Those were Fishmen! Arlong's pirates, didn't you see? I don't want to croak! Is that so bad?
Get a hold of yourself. It's no use. These waters are Arlong's lake. What should we do, Brother Usopp?
We'll say we weren't able to bring Nami back.
Untie me, you idiot!
And then it cuts to one of the fishermen jumping into the water and going,
Hey, I don't recall seeing that ship before. Ah! Abandoned ship!
and both Usopp and Johnny jump overboard with Zoro still tied to the boat.
Wait, you guys! Aye, aye!
And they both just start swimming away.
Hey, don't leave me like this!
We caught him. Wait,
What? Just this one?
Set adrift, eh? Banished, eh?
Sort of.
And in his mind, Zoro's thinking,
I'm gonna kill those guys.
looks like they tortured you some. All right, let's take another Arlong.
I keep using this accent. I gotta stop using it. I can't use it for every single pirate that comes up. I gotta stop. I can't use it all the time, otherwise it's just gonna get annoying. For me, because I'm more diverse in this.
Alright, we'll take him to Arlong.
Forgive us, Zoro. I'll tell Luffy you died bravely.
What terrible luck. I'll never forget your brother Zoro.
Yeah, let's get to dry land.
Aye, aye.
Huh?
What?
What village is this?
This must be Gosa, where Arlong went on a rampage a few weeks ago.
What a disaster! As it shows the entire village, but every building in Gosa Village is upside down. All of the houses are flipped upside down.
What a disaster! The houses have all been flipped upside down. Fishmen are strong. They have 10 times the strength of humans. This is the kind of power you find on the Grand Line. And this is the fate of a village that defied Arlong.
Huh? Johnny! I almost
missed you. You must be a refugee. I didn't know there were any left.
And then it shows that Johnny just basically ditched Usopp, as that same fishman who saw Usopp is right behind him. And Usopp just runs away screaming.
Ah!
And then the fishman goes, "Wait!"
Missed me by a frog here. Please be safe, Brother Usopp. I'll wait right here for Yosako and Brother Luffy.
Just try and catch me. This is my thing. Just try and catch me.
And then he's running, and it cuts to Usopp running away, and it cuts to that same kid that got hit by Nami going,
Found you, fishman! This is for my father!
and it cuts to this kid who just trips Usopp.
What?
I'll kill you, fishman!
And then it cuts to this kid who's preparing to kill Usopp, not realizing that he's not a fishman at all.
Don't touch that fishman!
Ow!
Look carefully. He looks like Arlong, but he's human. Kind of.
Kind of?
Chabo, a boy from Gosa Village, and Nojiko, a woman from Koko Village.
Kind of?
Wait, you?
He's gaining!
A fishman! That's a real one.
Stay back. I will let you harm this woman and child. I think I can take him.
So, stranger, you finally given up?
Not likely. Now you've made me mad. Open wide for death!
And then it cuts to Nojiko bonking Usopp in the back of the head going,
Don't touch the fishman.
and this knocks Usopp completely unconscious. Then we cut to another location, outskirts of Koko Village, in what appears to be like some sort of fruit fields of some kind. I wonder what they are.
Ah!
And then Usopp wakes up.
Where am I?
Awake? You're in my house.
Who are you? What about the fishmen?
The fishmen? I ditched them. I'm Nojiko. I grow tangerines.
And this is what that fruit is outside of this house on the outskirts of Koko Village. But we got Nojiko!
Hey, you hit me! Why'd you protect that fish man? And when I was trying to protect you?
I saved your life. You outsiders don't understand. You're from Gosa Village, right? If you laid one finger on a fishman, they'd kill you.
And Choba, the kid, doesn't say anything.
You should know that. Only too well.
I know, but those fish heads killed my father. I gotta get him back, even if it kills me. They sicked these huge monsters on us and stole everything and destroyed our village. They killed a lot of people. I gotta make them pay.
Monsters? Then those strange grooves in the ground?
The monsters made them. They're gigantic.
There are monsters here, too!
I went to Arlong Park, but one of Arlong's crew, a lady, got in my way. She was like a witch. I want to kill her too. I hate them.
And he's referring to Nami, and Nojiko doesn't say anything.
Fine. Get yourself killed.
And then Usopp takes a spit take over hearing this woman tell this kid to get himself killed.
Have your revenge. Get killed and find some peace. If you don't care if you die, then neither do I. But remember this. I and the witch at Arlong Park both stopped you. You've had your life saved twice. So drink your tea and shove off. I can't stand ungrateful brats.
And then the kid, Choba, doesn't say anything, but he starts tearing up.
Hey, aren't you being kinda hard on the kid?
Kid or not, anyone who's so determined to die like a dog should have his way. He doesn't have the will to live anyway.
What's that mean?
I once knew a child who faced a life worse than death and chose to live anyway. So when I see a kid like this, who's too cowardly to live, it makes me sick. It makes me sick.
And then the kid starts crying.
What should I do? I'll endure my pain.
Got a mother?
Yeah.
She must be worried. Go home to her.
And then Choba leaves.
Ah, that's what she was doing.
But that's not what Usopp was saying. I'm just adding that on. I'm just saying that, that's how he's looking. That's how Usopp is looking. He's all like,
ah, so that's exactly what she was doing. You're not so bad, despite the tattoos.
Why should I care what you think? I don't even know you.
Oh yeah, I'm Captain Usopp. I'm looking for a woman named Nami.
What? Nami is with... What?
Nami is with Arlong's crew? What? Nami is with Arlong's crew?
That's right. She's famous in these parts. Remember what the boy said about the woman who's like a witch? Well, this is the house where that witch grew up. Nami is my stepsister.
What?
And then we have someone saying, "Open the gate! We got a suspicious character!" Tell them it's no ordinary suspicious character. And it's Zoro who's being brought in, apparently. And that's the end of Chapter 70. Onwards to the last chapter, Chapter 71, Lords of All Creation. But before that, we got another SBS. Question: what does the D in Monkey D's Luffy stand for? Is it Donburi, a bowl of rice with topping? Daibutsu, a statue of the Great Buddha? What? I gotta know! And then Oda says, I get this question all the time, but I can't answer it. Yet. For now, don't worry about it. Just read it as D. Now, this isn't a spoiler, but all of us who are reading One Piece right now and its current chapters, we still don't know, and we are wondering. It is literally one of the biggest mysteries of the entire One Piece series. No one knows. So even now, we still don't know. Question: what's the relationship between pirates and rum? In books, pirates and rum are inseparable. And answer: not just pirates and rum, but all seafarers and rum. The short story is that rum was cheap, so the British Navy in pirate times switched from brandy to rum for the sailors' grog rations, which led to hard-drinking mariners being associated with rum. By the way, the reason there was so much alcohol aboard the ships was that on long sea voyages, water would go bad. Question: the other night I met an inhabitant of the planet Gum Gum. I asked him how long his arm stretched, and he said 705 poison Gum Gums. How long is 705 poison Gum Gums? And Oda answers, you met a Gum Gummian! Amazing and lucky. A poison gum-gum is a unit equal to 10 gum-gums, so that's 7,050 gum-gums. We're talking cosmic distances. But be warned, of all the races in the universe, the Gum-Gummians are the most likely to say ridiculous things. Chapter 71, Lords of All Creation. Buggy's crew after the battle. Part 24, Body Parts Run Amok. And it shows Buggy's body parts pretty much beating up the Kumite tribe as his body parts starts to come back together again. Mind you, the only parts that are missing is his head, his hands, and his feet. So every other part of him has conjoined back together and it's suddenly beating up the Kumite tribe.
This is Nami's house?
Yes, Nami and I were orphans. We grew up together in this house. But the one who raised us is dead now. Long ago, the three of us lived here happily in Cocoa Village.
Huh? In this village? Then why would Nami join Arlong's crew? They tyrannized these parts. She betrayed her own people?
That's about right. A real witch, huh? So what's your business with her, Captain Usopp?
What you just told me changes everything. She was fooling us the whole time. She was only after our treasure. When I think of it, it makes my blood boil. She fought to protect my village, and she was so friendly on the ship too. But all the while, she was planning to ditch us.
Really? She was friendly? The witch?
Boy, that makes me mad. Someone that low, that mercenary isn't worth fighting.
Then you won't attack Arlong and his pirates?
All I care about now is getting our ship back. I'll find the merry-go and go merrily away from here.
Well, that's probably a good idea. If you run afoul of the fishmen, you'll probably end up dead. By the way, the ship you're looking for, is it that one?
Hey, the merry-go! In a place like this? That means I'm beginning to understand the geography around here. Then the center of Cocoa Village must be just west of here. That's where the fishmen came after us. Ah!
What?
One of our mates got captured by fishmen. I'd forgotten. He was already half dead. I only hope he didn't provoke them into making them all dead. I only hope he didn't provoke them into making him all dead.
Then it cuts to Arlong Park, and it cuts to Zoro, who's saying, "I told you, I'm looking for a woman, you darn dirty half-fish." And then it cuts to Arlong, who's speaking to Zoro.
Watch it, human. I'll let it slide once, but don't ever call me a half-fish again. We fishmen are evolved humans who have developed the ability to breathe in seawater. Our fish-like powers make us far superior to you. We can do a lot of things that no human can. We fishmen are the lords of all creation. A human fighting the fishmen is fighting the power of nature itself.
And then it cuts to Nami, who's walking out behind Arlong.
I'm sick of that stupid theory of yours, Arlong.
Nami? Don't be offended, Nami. You're different. You're my talented and esteemed surveyor, the pride of my crew. Your maps are the best.
My brain's just different from yours. It works. What did you expect?
Surveyor? Nami? Are you in cahoots with these freaks?
You know this human?
Of course not. He just followed the loot. I helped myself to his treasure.
Huh? Huh?
I knew you'd try to follow me, but I didn't think you'd make it all the way here.
So this is the real you.
That's right. Surprised? I'm an officer in Arlong's pirate crew. I was a pirate all along.
She made a fool of you. That one even forgave the death of the parent for money. She's our cold-blooded witch woman.
And then Nami's entire countenance changed when Arlong mentions
that one even forgave the death of a parent for money.
And her whole mood just changed at the mention of this person. And Zoro notices.
Trickery and treasure stealing are her specialties, and we back her up.
I see. Well, I never trusted her anyway. It wouldn't surprise me if she's a murderer, too. The first time I saw her, I knew she was no good.
Then let's get down to brass tacks. Now that you know you were tricked, Forget me and the treasure and scram. You're an eyesore.
And then it cuts to Zoro, who uses all of his strength and jumps backwards headfirst into the pool in front of the house, shocking Nami.
What?
What happened? Why'd he suddenly jump in? Somebody pushed him?
Banana peel?
He's escaping!
No way. A human can't swim with his arms and legs tied.
Suicide?
Suicide? And then Nami is just looking completely surprised at what Zoro did.
Let him drown,
Goes Arlong, and Nami goes,
That idiot?
and dives in after him. Nami? And then the Arlong pirates are speaking to each other, murmuring.
Ah.
There they are!
What is this, Nami?
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking? What kind of cold-blooded witch woman can't stand to see a man drown?
He played her. He played her, knowing that she wasn't all bad.
Well, help me, stupid. I almost died just now.
You jerk!
As it shows Nami stomping on the back of Zoro.
If you mess with me again, you're dead.
I wonder.
All those bandages.
I ran out of clean laundry.
And before Zoro can even finish this sentence, Nami punches him straight in the gut.
Well, Nami, what should we do with him? Throw him in jail?
Oh wait.
Well, Nami, what should we do with him?
Throw him in jail. I'll deal with him.
Arlong!
What is it, comrade?
The one with the long nose got away!
Usopp. They found him too.
And then Nami, hearing that Usopp is there, is just thinking, like,
I think he fled to Cocoa Village. But
I think he fled to Cocoa Village. But
Cocoa Village? I just happen to have business there.
And then it cuts to another location as we cut to Cocoa Village. Cocoa Village.
Hey, Arlong is on his way here.
What? What does he want? We already paid the tribute. They probably saw my weapon. Everyone get inside. Mr. Gen, he's here.
Was it you? 3 days ago. The guy with the sword.
That's right. That's right. Can't a guy have a collection? I've always liked looking at weapons.
Genzo, Cocoa Villager. And it's a man who's just covered head to toe in scars all over his body. And he has like a hat with a pinwheel at the top.
Weapons give birth to wicked thoughts and violence. They're the #1 threat to the peace.
He's huge! So that's Arlong!
And it cuts to Usopp, who's so stiffened by fear that he's peeking around the corner, but his body is perpendicular across the wall.
They aren't human!
They're fishmen.
But I don't see Nami with them.
She's probably back at Arlong Park.
And Arlong is standing in front of Genzo.
There are 20 towns and villages under our protection. We don't like troublemakers. The port town of Gosa rebelled, so I destroyed it as an example to the rest.
I flubbed that so hard, I apologize.
The port town of Gosa rebelled, so I destroyed it as an example to the rest. And to refuse to pay your tribute is the same as rebellion.
Tribute? What's he talking about?
The money we pay them every month. We give them money to not pillage our homes and slaughter us. And if even one person in the village can't pay, we'll be crushed like Gosa was.
And remember, Gosa is the village where all the houses were ripped from their foundations and flipped upside down all in a row, while a massive, trench was dug through by one of their monsters.
That's terrible! A whole town because of one person?
That's Arlong's policy. Humans are dirt to them. They think nothing of killing us.
Got it, inferior humans? Don't think about anything. Just work hard and give us your money. Give us our money. I need mountains of money. Your tribute will be the foundation of the Arlong Empire, which will rule the East Blue.
Then it cuts to some ropes being cut, and it's Nami who's cutting Zoro's rope because she's freeing him.
Escape! Hurry! Before Arlong gets back!
Huh? And that is the end of chapter 71, ladies and gentlemen. Chapter 71. Yes. Chapter 71. We have now concluded with Volume 8 of One Piece. We will continue tomorrow with Volume 9 as we move into the Arlong Park arc. I hope you're all prepared. I know I am. I'm going to get myself something to eat and also something to, coat my throat because some of these voices, got to be careful with them sometimes because I do want to continue every single chapter, but I also don't want to, mess up my voice. So I'll probably get some tea with some honey later. But to everyone, I'm done for the day. I really do hope you all enjoyed my fan dubbing, my dramatic reading of the story of One Piece, because I enjoy doing these every single day, except Sundays. But it's really fun to just read all of this and also discover things that I never knew about this series as a whole. So it's very interesting going through this the first time. But I will see you all tomorrow, same time, as we read through Volume 9 of the One Piece series. So to everyone under the sound of my voice, firstly, thank you for all that you do for me and this channel. I really do appreciate it. It's not easy. I won't say that, but it's a big shift going from like a regular job to something like this and then have it, be your full-time job and just keep going with it. But I just want to say that I do not regret my decision of doing this. Entertaining all of you is one of the reasons why I wake up in the morning, and it really does put a smile on my face. So thank you for all that you do for me and this channel, and allowing me to continue to run this channel for all of your entertainment. All I can say at the end of the day is, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier, because I am going to continue reading One Piece until I catch up to where I started this series. And also because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.